Justin, it's time for a quick history lesson.
Oh my god.
Did you know that the art that you see on Grecian urns is alive when you're not looking at it?
Congratulations, art from Grecian Urns. You managed to make even pixel art look cool and modern.
Oh, Justin, your campaign against non-brown...
This is the most retro game art you could have.
That is true. This is Apotheon, and God, I hope I'm saying that right. Here I'm about to just like throw a spear at Apollo. I thought maybe I could hit him right in his naked giant butt. Seriously, Apollo, what a crazy badonk.
Is that how the game goes?
Yeah, you get shot in the head and you died. No, now I'm in Apollo's jail. So this game is set on Mount Olympus, and if you played the God of War games or, you know, read a book before, you're going to recognize some of these names. There's my boy Helios, the Chariot of Fire guy, also naked. A lot of nudity in this game. But it's like art nudity, so it's totally fine.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone's going to raise a stink about Apotheon on Fox News. God, I hope I'm saying the name of that game right. Apotheon is a really, really slick sort of action RPG. I've been following it for a little while since like when I was like watching trailers and stuff before it came out. It came out last week on Steam. I kind of thought that it would be sort of a Metroidvania thing, and
that's how it looks.
Yeah, I guess in like format that is kind of how it works. But what Apotheon does that is like really cool is it doesn't rely so much on like gear gating. You're not gonna like get the double jump, or at least I've been playing for a couple hours now. That hasn't happened so far.
What did you play it on? What platform?
It's on PC. I think it's also on PS4.
I think so. That sounds right.
It doesn't rely on gear gating. Instead, like what it kind of focuses on is changing like the gameplay with every sort of area that you go into. So this one is like a prison break sequence. I'm in Apollo's prison, and I am attempting to rescue people to fight in my army and not get killed by these auto crossbows. There we go. So yeah, while you're on Mount Olympus, you're basically fulfilling all these different objectives, like getting the like bow of Achilles or something like that. That's probably not whose bow it is. But you have to complete these different objectives, which takes you to these different areas in Mount Olympus, and each one kind of has like this interesting mechanic to it. So this one like takes all of your equipment away, and then you have to do a prison break. I did a really cool segment earlier where I was being hunted. I got transformed into a deer, and I had to fight against this hunter. And the only way that you can hurt him is by reaching these like special pillars that transform you back to a human and transform him into a deer, and then you have to hunt him. So it's like this really cool like back and forth there.
Sounds like every dream I've had for the past 3 weeks.
Is being turned into a deer?
To a deer and being hunted.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in my day to day that's causing that, but
You eating
can
a
I
lot
say
of,
something
eating
that's
a lot of
bothering?
venison?
I want to say something that's bothering me. Those numbers in those meters at the bottom center of the screen.
Yeah.
I don't like how they're touching the top of the meter.
You're right. 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 stars.
3 out of 10. That kerning is killing me.
Yeah, the kerning could use some work. I was playing this at like 1280 by 720. Maybe at higher resolution, the kerning is improved.
Poor kerning.
Okay.
3 out of 5 stars.
Okay. Well, I guess I can't argue with your metrics.
Can you tell me a little bit about the, like, in terms of, like, mechanically, I'm seeing a lot of, like, armor pluses and minuses, a lot of numbers. Like, what would you compare it to? Like,
So that element is very, very much like the more modern Castlevania games, in that it just sort of throws loot at you constantly. By breaking shit in the environment, you can pick up health, and you can also pick up armor, which serves as like a extra sort of reserve for your health. Yeah, and you're just constantly picking up loot. So you can see I have those 4 sort of inventory slots down there in the bottom right. Those are full of clubs and spears and swords. But you are also constantly finding special stuff. So what's in this? Okay. So in there was some materials I can use to craft. You can craft potions and grenades and traps. There's a lot of... Man, I'm just murdering this guy in cold sleep. you can craft all these different potions that can
Sorry,
help you
in
out.
cold sleep? Is that an expression?
I like blended cold blood and just the
I liked
idea
it.
of
It's kind
sleep.
of film noir.
Yeah. Thank you. There are also special weapons that you can find in the environment. That everything has like a durability meter. So once you use an item, it breaks. But by finding an item, you stock it in this specialty vendor back in like the central hub of Mount Olympus. And the specialty items are usually pretty sweet. I just found a javelin made out of light that I can just throw over and over again.
So it's not like you get a new weapon and you're going to roll with that for a while. It's like...
No, you are constantly having to switch. There's actually kind of an interesting breakdown between the different weapons. Like, spears are good at keeping enemies at range, but if you are fighting an enemy that is like a berserker that gets up close to you, you're not going to be able to hit him because he's going to be like all up in your grill.
Is it hard to fight the temptation to like hoard stuff?
Whoa. You can, like, it'll break. Like, yeah, I guess you can like just not use it, but that's not what weapons are for. The boss fights in this game are pretty slick. This is Brontes or Brontes. I should like learn anything about
anything.
Like anything.
It looks very fast paced. Is it as frenetic as it looks when you're actually playing it?
Yeah, no, it is. It's very quick and it's very physics based. Like you will get like knocked when you get hit by an attack. Like sometimes it'll knock you like way across the map. You can pick up these special weapons. Like you can just pick up a giant brick and use that as a weapon and like throw it into a crowd of guys and wreck their shit. You can get like what is it, like alchemist's fire, like these big urns of flaming oil that you can use to like take out an entire group of enemies. But yeah, most of the time you have to stay on your toes because you're fighting cyclopses,
giant naked dudes.
Yeah, guys, again, I can't stress this enough. A lot of haunches.
A lot of haunches, a lot of glutes. I'm hoping there's no, like, I'm assuming at least no ding-dongs.
I think I've seen like one or two ding-dongs. Yeah, sure.
Whoa!
But they're godly. They're deified ding-dongs. And
sure.
And it's art. Again, it's art. Obviously, like you don't, if you're watching this, you probably don't need me to tell you that like the art style is pretty rad. I know Justin's not a fan of anything that's not super glossy. Whoa, bloom lighting.
All I'm saying is Gears of War came out, and you can't make it not come out.
Yeah, you can't put the genie back in that bottle.
We're in a post-Gears world.
Yeah, I
guess.
I get you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it definitely has...
Good job, by the way, killing that fool.
Thank you. It definitely has a, like, Diablo-esque, like, loot-heavy sensibility to it. Because, again, like... You're picking up like a ton of shit, and there's a lot of stuff for you to buy. There's a lot of recipes to find that will let you craft new items. But it doesn't like rely solely on that, and it doesn't rely solely on gear gating. What makes it like so fresh is that like I get excited to face off against each new god on Mount Olympus because each one has like kind of a cool mechanic to beating it. There's one area where you're in this beautiful garden with all these statues, and there's a woman who's like been turned into a tree in the middle of it, and there are these giant urns of water that you have to like very carefully carry back. But while you're carrying it back, these statues come to life and start to attack you, and you have to like avoid them while maneuvering around these giant urns. Like here's a look at the map. So yeah, it's really neat. Like you never know like what new area is gonna have in store for you, and each area comes with like a bunch of objectives that you have to complete. It's a really slick, really polished game that doesn't really conform to. I love a good action RPG, Metroidvania, whatever the hell you want to call it. I love a good game like that, but this one doesn't really rely on a lot of the tropes that those games follow.
Have you met Kratos? Do you think you'll find Kratos?
No.
Be sweet if you could fight Kratos and steal his graphics after you beat him. That would be a fun mechanic.
No, not my graphics. First my family, and now my super tight GFX.
That would be good.
Yeah, that would be fun. You are the worst.
Fair enough.
But yeah, this is Apotheon. It's out now on Steam. I think it's like $15.
Okay.
And it's also on PlayStation 4. So if you have either a computer or a PlayStation 4, and you like glutes and you like thick, meaty hamstrings, I would say this one is a surefire hit.